Hello everyone, time for more Brandon's Boy Problems. Today's episode is about returning to interracial dating. So I moved to Atlanta over a year ago, and ever since I moved here, like I'd only really dated and interacted with black guys. Like all my dates have been black, all my hookups have been black. Pretty much like even most of my friends are all black. So like it's definitely been different than how I'm used to growing up, because like I grew up in a diverse environment. Well, there weren't really any black people, but there was diverse in every other way. Like all my best friends from high school, like we were each a different race. We called ourselves a diverse group. Like one from was Japanese, one was Filipina, one was Mexican. We had a white girl, and then I was the black one. But like my high school like was only like 4% black, and like I didn't even have a black friend until I went to college. So like I never really had much interest in black guys most of my life. I lived in like a small town in Pennsylvania, and then I moved to Boston, which isn't really very black. But I did finally have black friends, and I went to college, but like even there, like my black friends also come from similar environments to me. Like we pretty much mostly date like outside our race and friends outside our races. So like we were like Oreos, I guess, like black on the outside, but we also had like American white culture. So like we did mostly like date outside our race. So like even all my friends are back home, like growing up, like we were all different races. Like we all dated like outside our race, meaning we all mostly dated white guys. But I mean, white guys were in abundance wherever I lived. So like that is mostly what I dated. And I also felt like not really growing up around black people, I didn't really have much in common with black men. And honestly, I still have that issue most of the time, that I have finally started dating inside my race. But yeah, like 2 years ago I finally was like over my prejudice and internalized racism, where I could start dating black men. And I do think watching lots of gay like black web series made me like more open to dating black guys, since like diversity and like seeing representation and like seeing all these sexy black men and then seeing like black love and all these couples like made me really more open to it. And I do think I'm glad that I got over my sexualized racism, but it's weird now going back to dating a white guy after dating a black guy dating black men exclusively for over a year, especially in a city that is primarily black. Like before I moved to Atlanta, everyone said like interracial dating was rare and unlikely here, that you'd be like judged for it, and like that terrified me, because like I'm coming from like mostly only dating outside my race and moving somewhere where like people don't date outside their race. I was like, what am I gonna do? But like thankfully, I did start dating black guys, but it's just like, and it's not that like interracial dating is really like taboo as much in Atlanta, but I just feel like it's not easy, because I feel like literally like I lived here for over a year, like all my friends, hookups, dates have all been black. Like it's just like black men everywhere, especially like attractive black men. I feel like the white men here, like there's less of them and they aren't really that attractive, like at least not to me. Like I feel like the white men here, like I get hit on, are like old, and like I'm not into old men. And then there's like lots of ugly ones, and like I'm not into ugly people. And I feel like I don't know, I don't like southern accents, which might be like my northern superiority complex. I also feel like I associate like southern accents with like dumb hillbilly racism. I think it's just like how we're conditioned in the north to like look down upon southerners and like view southerners as like racist and like closed-minded, even though like it's definitely here in Atlanta is way more sexually liberated and like freak show than like in the north. I feel like the north is way more conservative. Here you can buy alcohol, there's sex everywhere, sex clubs everywhere, there's like sex, drugs, alcohol literally wherever you go down south. So like in the north, I definitely feel like it's definitely more conservative. Maybe that's just like a trick they tell you to like look down upon the south as being more conservative, but it's just different now that I'm dating a white guy again. We weren't like official yet. We've only been on like 2 days. Like we went out to eat the other night, and we did go to like this restaurant that is popular with like, it's a gay restaurant and bar, but it is lots of like black gays there. But then again, like Atlanta is like black gays everywhere, since black men are the majority here. So like it does feel odd, like okay, I'm out holding this like guy's hand, and like I do like him and he's exactly my type. Well, like my old type before I moved to Atlanta, it's like my type before I moved to Atlanta was like big, 6'2", 6'3", bearded, beefy, like white boys, and since I moved to Atlanta, like the guys I like dated were like 5'8", 5'9", maybe even 5'7", like black, like stocky. I mean, it's still like the same type because like I like big beefy guys. It's just like they're shorter and black as opposed to tall and white, and I'm back to being a tall white guy. And like it just felt like eyes were like judging me, and like I don't know if it was just in my head because like I was trying to like avoid eye contact or like avoid anyone like staring at me and just like be focused on my date, but I just felt like I was being like stared. I felt like awkward at like, oh wow, I'm out with like a white guy and like doing PDA or like making out, and like, and it's like I've seen interracial couples like everywhere in Atlanta, and I feel like it's not really, well, I guess since I wasn't in those couples, it didn't seem like a big deal to me. Like I always love seeing interracial couples, and like, oh well, interracial dating isn't taboo here, and like it does exist, but then again it really is like a minority. But I also feel like I mostly dated inside my race here because that was like the only option, but it's not because that's my preference. Even like my friends would joke and say that like they think I'll just go back to white men eventually, but like I honestly always, when I lived in the North, like I dated, hooked up with guys of every race. I've been with like black, white, Latino, Middle Eastern, Asian, like I've been with every race there is. Like I like men of all races. It's just like I honestly feel like I have the same type, that like race isn't really a factor. I just like big, beefy, brawny, butch, and bearded. Like I don't care what race or color that comes in. I just like a big, beefy, butch and bearded frame. Like I like a rugged man. So it is just like I felt awkward. I also feel like guys are like looking at me weird or like trying to like check me out, even though I'm clearly on a date or with this like white guy, that like the black guy's trying to like lure me away, and I'm like, I don't know, maybe it's just like all in my head, like my own paranoia, but I just really felt so awkward and uncomfortable, and like I never felt like this before. Like I never really felt like I had to be that conscious of race or interracial dating when I lived in the North, because like it wasn't a big deal. Like literally like everyone's doing it, like it's not like an issue. But here in Atlanta we're just like black people everywhere, and then suddenly like you're here with a white guy in like a black area or black space. It's just like feels so uncomfortable and awkward. And it's like, I mean, I'm not usually one to like care what people think of me or like care about being judged. Like I've never cared, like even since high school when I came out. Like that's how I realized like I had to live my life, like not giving a fuck what other people think of me. But it's just like I never felt this awkward or uncomfortableness when interracial dating before in my entire life, even though I've been interracial dating pretty much my entire life. So yeah, it's just like weird for me that like it is feel a bit odd that like you are like suddenly interracial dating again when you haven't done it for like over a year. But then it's also that I've been missing diversity and missing going out with guys of different races and whatnot. So yeah, it's just like an awkward transition back into like interracial dating after you've only been dating black men for over a year. But it's an interesting scenario, and I'm excited to see how things go and how it plays out. And thanks for joining me for more Brandon's Boy Problem.